Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We just hooked up the dump trailer. As you can see, it is draining out water, and we got a little surprise in here. A little bit of firewood still and a bunch of scraps. So I just backed it up to where I've been dumping some of the scraps that I don't burn, just because burning it takes a long time, and I've been trying to kind of fill in this area in hopes that we might start storing some IBC totes here. As you can see, I'm storing some of the stuff I don't use like every day over here. So we're gonna get this thing cleaned out, and then we're gonna go pick up a load of logs from a friend. So here we go. All right, trailer's empty. Got the wood and kindling over here. Forgot to hook up the lights before, but now the trailer lights are on. Let's go pick up some logs. Oh wait, first we gotta go get diesel. So that'll probably be like 120 bucks, because yeah, we're less than a quarter tank. So let's go do that first. All right guys, so a quick $115 later, and we are back in tow and headed to pick up the logs. We're actually going back to the first tree company that I ever started doing tree work for when I was back in high school, and I'm still friendly with the owners of it, and they said they got some ash logs for me, as well as maybe some maple and oak. So we're gonna go pick up these logs. I just wanted to quickly say welcome to any new subscribers. We've been getting a ton of new subscribers lately, and I haven't properly welcomed you guys. Thanks for joining the Dude Ranch DIY channel. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. We got plenty of content, back in the archives, so go back and check it all out. But thanks for being here. I hope you like what we're putting out. The next thing is, I recently switched over some of my merch from a one on-demand site to a new one. I'm hoping that this new one has better quality, like screen printing and stuff, because I came to found that after I washed some of the clothing that I got, or the merch that I got from that first company, some of the screen prints on some of the shirts started coming off, others didn't. So I just wasn't happy with that. If you guys are gonna spend the money to, get my merch, I wanna make sure it lasts for you. So hopefully this new one will be better quality. I'm also gonna have some new designs coming out. I'll probably be posting a poll on that on like Facebook or on the YouTube community tab coming up. I've got a bunch of new designs, and if everybody likes them all, I'll probably just make shirts with all of them on it, and you can kind of choose what design gets printed on the shirt that you want to support the channel. So that's pretty much it. We'll check back in when we get to where we're going to pick up the logs. All right guys, we're here at the yard loading up the logs. Got a pile, we got some birch, we got some maple, some beech, and my buddy Mauricio gave me the remote. I haven't run this truck in a long time, so let's see how we do.
Okay, so there we go. It is on. I made sure not to over tighten these screws to strip the threads, so I am going to bring out the ratchet and the little Torx bit to adjust them after it warms up for a little bit and just make sure everything's nice and snug in there. But again, this is the Egan Straight Shot. Huge opening over there. I have nothing, you know, I haven't compared it to the West Coast saws, but you could see the difference in the two in the opening. The Egan is a lot wider. So we're gonna try this one out with the stock air filter and everything. We got to put that back on because we were not ready for the MaxFlow air filter system. So look forward to that in the future.
Okay guys, so Chris and his brother Andrew are here. Andrew and I just split up a whole tote of all the offcuts and chunks, and now we're moving all these oak pieces from over here in front of the log pile to over in front of the splitter because we're gonna start out splitting oak today. Chris separated out all the beech and ash. This is all the oak that came out of that load. There's the ash. There's the tote that we just split up. Chris also got the dump trailer positioned underneath the conveyor, backwards this time, or the opposite way. That way we don't shoehorn ourselves into a corner and we can split and stack simultaneously and still have access to the empty IBC totes over here because we want to separate out the oak from everything else because it takes so much longer to dry. We just ran the 500i just at idle for like 5 minutes, so that should be totally sufficient to reset the computer or whatever for the Egan Straight Shot exhaust. We got the Mingo marker over there, so Chris is gonna get to cutting and Andrew and I are gonna get to splitting and stacking. So that is the plan, and yeah, we're gonna carry on.
Just melting through this oak.
Absolutely melting it.
Yeah. It's like hot butter through knife.
Hot butter through knife. That thing is loud.
It's really loud.
It sounds mean though.
Huh?
It sounds mean.
It is. You're gonna have to try it.
Woo!
It likes to jump. As soon as you touch that trigger, it's popping.
The more torque, huh?
Oh yeah.
Well, they did say that this thing is supposed to give it a little bit more like torque.
Oh, it's got some juice, that's for sure.
Yeah, all right. We like juice. It's tight, but it'll work. All right, guys, we got IBC totes in position. What we're gonna do, because we don't have all that much oak, Chris is gonna burn through this with the 500i, cutting it all up. Andrew's gonna help keep the RuggedMade splitter fed, and you know, it's all gonna get conveyed up into the dump trailer. And then once Chris is done cutting, we're gonna switch over to stacking and get it all stacked up. Then we can start on that beach over there. So here we go. So what? You more than kept up with us. You finished the trailer?
Oh, yeah. No, it was a little daunting at first because the pile was kind of like stuck in the trailer. It's all piled up at the top. I thought that I wasn't going to be able to catch up, but then all of a sudden the wood in the trailer was gone and 2 totes were full. You guys were still splitting, so I was like, all right, well.
Might as well start cutting up those eye joists.
Yeah.
They're really not good for much else than to burn in the burn barrel, so now we'll have plenty of somewhat dry
Hopefully
stuff.
they're not fire retardant.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty hard. I was trying to cut through them with a dull topper, and they were pretty tough, but
Yeah.
it's probably because it was dull. But, so if you guys, I mean, you probably saw, because we got footage of it, but, you know, we were splitting straight into the tilted trailer. We had the trailer turned around, and Chris was able to stack into the totes. So we got, I mean, this one's going to be full with the rest of this stuff, so that's all oak. So we got, how many totes, Chris? 3 totes or 2 totes?
2 totes.
2 full totes of oak.
Well, 1, 2.
2, yeah. Well, this one's going to be full with the rest of that stuff.
Yep.
And now we can move on to the beech. So we'll do some beech and probably mix it in with some maple, or we have some more beech over there in that pile underneath the maple, and we just want to get all this stuff split up because the ash obviously is ready to go pretty quick, and this stuff takes a little bit longer to dry. But
This
yeah.
oak is wet and it is heavy.
Yeah, what you tried lifting up a small tote
Yeah,
without the big tool rack
I was
on.
just curious because we got the tires loaded, or Jake got the tires loaded, and it's been able to handle a full tote of ash.
A full large tote of ash,
A large
even.
tote. And it didn't seem to struggle. I know that oak weighs much more than dry ash.
Especially when wet.
Yeah. But I was curious, so I figured, what the hell, why not?
Yeah, and your back tires came up immediately.
Immediately. It did not budge. But as soon as the big tool rack got put on, that you said, what, 1,200
It's like
pounds?
1,200 pounds, somewhere in there.
As soon as that was on, the tractor handled it phenomenally.
Yeah.
It didn't sway. It didn't lift off the ground. Usually when you go to turn, one of the tires comes off.
Right.
Not even an inch off the ground.
So that extra 600 or so pounds in the rear tires definitely helped out.
It helped out a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing that it wasn't able to do was curl and lift more than 6 inches.
Right.
So it got it up off the ground. I was able to get it out of my way. But
Yeah, and that's pretty typical. Once it's dry, it picks it up. The full tote's no problem. But you know, green oak, this tractor.
It's super wet. You could probably suck the water right out of it.
Right, and I mean we don't split much oak here, so it's really not a big deal. But it's always nice to have some oak on hand. All right, let's keep going.
You stand in the middle because we both have microphones, so then we'll be able to just speak up a little.
Don't yell like this guy. Inside voices, but you know, a little bit more audible than my typical inside voice.
Mouse whisper. Well, all right, guys, we just finished up. We got, I think we counted about 4 totes because we started with a half and we just ended with a half. But we got all the oak done in that trailer load, all the beech, plus some maple. So that's good. We got a little bit over a cord. I don't know how long it took us because I think, as Chris astutely pointed out, the hour meter no longer works because of its hydraulic oil bath. But on the upside, as Andrew pointed out, it's not going to rust. So that's good. Andrew's first time here in the wood yard. What did you think of the RuggedMade splitter? Because I know you used to do a lot of firewood at your old job, right?
I used to work with a power split.
That's one of the big ones with the conveyor, right? And drives around.
The double split edge.
Yeah.
You know, the rugged splitter, it works well. You know, it's for a one-man operation. It's not terrible.
And they're totally different machines too.
Once you get 2 guys in there, you know, it's the 4 hands are working a little faster than the splitter can.
Oh yeah.
So you definitely, you're losing time on that, but overall it's nice.
Yeah, it gets the job done. It's been a great machine for us, and you know, Chris was you were pretty easily keeping up today.
Yeah,
like you were
very easily keeping
emptying out the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were moving at a good pace. We were separating the logs. We were doing small batches of splitting.
Right.
It gave me an opportunity to let the trailer stockpile a little bit, get everything cut up and staged for you and Andrew to split. And by the time I got to the trailer, there's enough for me to start doing, keep up, and then eventually pass you and kind of start cleaning up, get some of the shards out of here, get the fire going a little
Which
more.
actually worked out pretty well because like having to clean up, like sometimes this takes me a whole afternoon just by myself to like clean up. But with the trailer facing this way, it made it a lot easier. What'd you think of the Egan Straight Shot? I haven't even tried it yet, so.
It's really loud.
It is really loud.
Sounds good, though.
I tried cutting with just the plugs in, and it was not enough.
Yeah.
I was happy you had the muffs on the back of the big tool rack. But for sure, it's got some juice. It wants to jump every time you pull that trigger. And
it's torquey.
It loves to eat. As soon as you put it to the wood, it is like, give me more.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad that worked out. We tried out the Log-Ox stuff here. This is like the Picaroon, and I guess they're like log grabber mover thing. First, I mean, we got to use it more, and I'm not even totally sure that I have this set up right. If any of you guys have it, or am I supposed to be using this big pin to hold on the hookaroon like end? Because it seems like every time we go to hit it into a log, this thing just like pops out. So I might have to like replace that with a bolt, because I think I'd use the hookaroon, like we'd use the Picaroon more than it as like a PV, because that is an option to like put this into here and it turns like into a PV, but we have a PV.
I think that's why they made it this way. They put the pins so that you can easily go back and forth.
Yeah. And again, like I could totally be doing it wrong, but I think that's the way it looks to operate. But that's easily fixed with just like a little bolt going through there, and that way we can use the Picaroon thing. This thing seemed to work pretty well for like the smaller stuff.
For the smaller stuff.
It's kind of hard getting it up onto the because the height.
Yeah, once you get into the bigger stuff, it's tough.
Yeah.
But for the small logs, 8 to 10 inches, it gets a nice little bite on them. And
right, for moving stuff around, like if you're moving around from over there to over here, from the cutting table to over here. Sure. But to lift them up onto the log lift, it's a little bit high because you have to raise your arm up. But yeah, the RuggedMade splitter worked out pretty well. It seems like my weld held up. If you saw the last video where I replaced or fixed that little tab. We didn't have any hydraulic lines blow this time, so that's good. And we got firewood done. So we tried out some new products, and that's it.
Our conveyor worked great today, too.
The conveyor did. Props to the conveyor. Yeah. Props to fabricator Chris, because this thing's been working awesome without no hiccups at all whatsoever.
Definitely get that plate in there, though.
Yeah, Andrew and I were talking about welding in a little reinforcement plate where the wood kind of hits.
Yep.
'Cause if you're splitting with somebody else like we were today, you're throwing it in instead of the splitter just pushing it in.
Right.
Already see
So
it's
you could just
starting to
reinforce,
bow.
that little area in there
Yep.
where it's bowing.
Well, we do have that extra plate from the build.
Yeah,
the
that's
original
exactly
build.
what I was thinking. So that's good. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button down
Come on,
below.
Andrew, get with the program
Yeah,
here. You
you
gotta
got click the
give
subscribe.
us a big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Subscribe.
Button down below. Questions, comments, or feedback, throw it down in that comments section. But for now, I'm Jake.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Chris.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys here next time.